I'm already feeling good about this move because historically 6'8" wings in the city of Cleveland have done pretty well and done some pretty big things when they enter into Cleveland, Ohio. Big news today. The Cavs have made a trade right at the very end of the deadline to bring in DeAndre Hunter from the Atlanta Hawks. So to just quickly go over the details of what the trade consists of, Cavs get DeAndre Hunter, Hawks get Karis LeVert, George Niang, 3 second-round picks, and then there's 2 pick swaps involved as well. So obviously a ton of assets there going in the direction of the Hawks, but all in all feels like a pretty good deal for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Have really enjoyed having Karis in Cleveland these last couple of years. He and George have both been nice role players and have had bright spots during their time in Cleveland. But I think, this additional level of a player that, we previously we haven't had in that position is a big deal. A 3-and-D wing is something the Cavs have truly been looking for since LeBron left the city. And it's been kind of a glaring hole in the roster since that time. It was pretty clear in many matchups where teams that could really exploit the Cavs in that area were doing it. The Knicks, the Celtics, and you could really feel in some of those games where you're like, yeah, it'd be really nice if we had a 3-and-D wing right now to step in and round out this lineup in general. I also think, with the current Cavs roster, they've really had to heavily rely on Dean Wade specifically, and for Dean Wade to be healthy. And we know Dean Wade has had a whole host of health issues over the course of his career. So it's a bit of a risk when you are, wanting to rely on Dean being okay for you to even be able to have some semblance of the lineup you're looking to put out there. So I think this move from that perspective makes a ton of sense. I think, I am an emotional fan who gets connected to the players that come into the city. And so it always hurts to see guys go, especially someone like Karis, who has been here a couple years now and seems to have really great friendships with all the guys. George seems to have really great friendships with all the guys. He does that post-game show with Tristan on the FanDuel Sports Network broadcast every game. These are guys that have, ingrained themselves in the team in the city. So it is unfortunate from that perspective, to have to see them go. But, from a strictly basketball perspective, this was the correct move for them to make. From Atlanta's side, it's definitely a cost-cutting move. I think they're probably trying to do some sort of rebuild. And, you always want to be the beneficiary of a team that needs to make cost-cutting moves and is potentially looking to rebuild. I think that is a great spot to be in when teams kind of get a little bit desperate towards the deadline and feel like they really need to do something. You want to be in the position where you can kind of take that on. And I feel like that is A+ from Kobe Altman in that perspective, A+ for the Cavs organization for really pursuing that and making it happen. And then another benefit for the Cavs, obviously they needed to stay out of the luxury tax. So, a move was coming in some way. We didn't, know exactly what level that would be, but this was probably best case scenario. Random fun fact about DeAndre Hunter, if you don't already know this about him, is he was previous teammates in college with someone on the Cavs, and that is Ty Jerome. They were both actually Cavaliers in college at Virginia, which is kind of just a weird, funny coincidence, I guess. But, I'm sure that is always good from a team building perspective and team chemistry perspective to have guys who have, some sort of pre-existing relationship. And, those will be two guys who are, Ty Jerome will be coming off the bench. And I think DeAndre Hunter's probably going to end up starting, but I don't know, what their clear plans are or if they're going to try a couple of different starting lineups to see what works best. But, if Ty and DeAndre are comfortable playing together, maybe they end up getting some minutes together. It'll kind of be interesting to see that. So yeah, his contract, we have the next I believe 3 seasons on his contract. He's making 21.7 million, 23 million, and then 25 million in that final year of the contract. From a on court perspective, he in his career is shooting about 45% from the field, and 36.8% from three. So just under 37%. But this season, where he's really, quite honestly, had a 6-man of the year candidacy type season, has improved statistically and is shooting 46.1% from the field and 39.3% from three. So just under 40% from three this season, which, oh, that feels so good for someone who's averaging, I think, like 18, 19 points a game to be shooting so efficiently from three. That's something like I'm so excited to see within this Cavs lineup and just how that's going to look and how that's going to work. Defensively, I feel like people call him like a 3-and-D, but he is a bit inconsistent defensively. I think was a little bit better defensively earlier on in his career, has struggled more recently. But, defense in a lot of ways, I do find to be effort-based. And I have to wonder if coming into this Cavs team with such talented players, a team that is contending and really all works extremely hard, if that's going to maybe bring him back to a level defensively that he was previously at, or just can see some improvements there, because I do find that happens when you have, a team that is going all out every single game and cares that much. I think it lifts up other guys, makes them care as well. So I think that's something I'm definitely interested to see. The organization making this move, I think, it gives them a lot of things. One, like lineup flexibility that they haven't had before. I think, when it comes to guys like Dean and Isaac, it's going to take some time to figure out how we are using them along with using Hunter. They all are different players, but at times serve similar purposes. But I think we still have a couple of months here, obviously, until playoffs to really try different rotations, put different guys together in different roles and figure out what's going to work best. But there, I think, is a lot of flexibility there if everyone is healthy to throw some different looks at teams, especially, like I mentioned, Knicks, Celtics. Those are teams that you are going to want to see if you can find some new things that work well against them. And the biggest thing, I think, with the front office making this move, this is a sign of a team that knows they are contending. This is a sign of a team that wants to win right now, that says we are in, a window where we believe we have the guys in this group that can get it done, and we just want to take them to the next level. I know the players are going to be a little bit sad, because I know they asked Donovan after, I think it was last game, how he felt about the trade deadline, and if he thought the Cavs were going to make any moves, or some question in that regard. And he was like, I like the guys we have, like I'm good with it. So obviously I know he's going to be sad to see his friends go. I'm sure they all are going to be, but I think the players at the end of the day understand that this is a business, and you can't get bogged down as much in the personal relationships, even though of course they matter. It is, you're trying to win a championship, and the front office is going to do what's best for the team in terms of trying to win a championship when you feel like you have the opportunity. So I'm pumped that from the front office to the coaching staff to the players, it seems like everyone knows that there is a real shot here, and they want to make it work. So I'm pumped about this. I was, like I said, a little emotional at first because I really love Karis, and that made me sad. But I think all in all, right move for the Cavs. We're coming for the chip this year. Get ready and let them know.